The Roswell incident of 1947 was the recovery of debris from a ranch near Corona, New Mexico, by United States Air Force officers from Roswell Army Airfield. Years later, conspiracy theorists claimed that the debris involved wreckage from a flying extraterrestrial machine. Also, the truth has been covered up by the United States government. Of this subject, I believe I can show some compelling evidence that not only was it a flying extraterrestrial machine, but that on July the 8th, 1947, Roswell Airfield issued a press release stating they had recovered a flying disc. The Army, however, retracted this statement and said instead that the crashed object was a conventional weather balloon. This, of course, was many years before the curtain was raised on the global warming show that has held us enthralled ever since. What is the connection, you may ask? And rightly so. But hear me out and I will explain. However, much later in the 70s, the Roswell crash, as it was now known, surfaced again when retired Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Marcel claimed he believed that debris he retrieved was extraterrestrial. Ufologists began promoting a variety of increasingly elaborate conspiracy theories, claiming that one or more alien spacecraft had crash-landed and that the extraterrestrial occupants had been recovered by the military, which then engaged in a cover-up. But why bother? After all, the armed forces were, and still are, bankrolled by the public. This is true to a certain extent, although increasingly they are actually financed by monumental borrowing that runs into trillions. The public only pay the interest accrued. In 1994, the United States Air Force released a report that stated that the debris found at Roswell was in fact a nuclear test surveillance balloon from Project Mogul. Did you hear the bang? Another Air Force report, published in 1997, of aliens' bodies, probably referred to test dummies used to see what happened when bombs or when dropped from high altitude. If you were a senior officer, would you drop stuff of a sensitive nature on a farm in New Mexico or on Area 51? After all, it is big enough. If these were, as claimed by the Air Force, bits of balloon and dummies, why bother to spend time and money on a report that had been closed in 1947? In any case, the official view is only UFO nutters are the only people to keep raking up the ashes of Roswell in the intervening years. They may be right in some aspects of this case, but it is the other aspects of government thinking and acting that needs clarifying, and this is it. It has been claimed by whistleblowers that the secretive Area 51, that reversed engineering of extraterrestrial machines, has revealed mind-blowing scientific discoveries that can solve most, if not all, of Earth's energy needs. The problem here is being that if these were given a public airing at this time, then all of our industries and businesses that rely on oil, coal, gas and nuclear will be worthless overnight. The result of this will be a total breakdown of society, as the public have been led to believe that most, if not all, of life's problems will be solved by the government. In other words, the liberal way is the right way. This is where global warming has proved so useful. High-powered meetings of G7 and other influential groups have come up with the answer. A good reason had to be put forward to the public for them to accept that the legs needed to be kicked out from under the companies that employed them. However, this process needed to be gradual to allow organisations to adjust to a new way of thinking. I am like most people. I am impressed by slick presentations and forceful arguments put forward by clever, well-qualified individuals. As I sit preparing this presentation, it is hot outside and my air conditioning is roaring in my ears. Who can argue against that? Yes, we are all convinced if we don't give up our big cars and wood burners, we'll all fry in hell. This is a good argument, but it is only put forward to allow society to adjust to the new world ahead. Is frying in hell better than freezing? It is unfortunate that some activists have decided the world without oil is by far the best outcome. Direct action by them is like oxygen to a drowning man. They want to be seen as angels of mercy, saving us from ourselves. I assume from their actions that none of them are engineers, or they would know that wind-powered generators, no, they're not windmills. Windmills only make flour. Need lubricating. So do electric cars, fire engines, ambulances and electric trains. If they are injured in their quest to save the world, they would expect to be whisked off to a hospital in a plush ambulance. Perhaps they should try going to hospital in a horse and cart across the field. If they claim going back to the Middle Ages is a good idea, then a blue plaque could be left on their behalf in the mud. My argument is not against global warming, which is a fact, and it may well be caused by varying aspects and degrees of carbon in the atmosphere. The truth is, most of us don't know. However, if this is true, then volcanoes will have to be capped, and warfare, the most carbon active of all people's activities, will need to be stopped. And primitive tribes will have to stop lighting fires. Worst of all, animals and humans will have to stop breaking wind. Come to think of it, that may be a blessing in disguise. Have you heard these arguments put forward to Mr. Putin in Russia? I thought not. I rest my case.